This is general advice and my opinions only. CFDs are high risk, past performance isn't reliable. I may be long or short CFDs and stocks mentioned. Content may contain language that offends some viewers. LEVRD operates as corporate authorised representative 001318377 under AFSL 548573. You can find our financial services guide via the LEVRD website link in the show notes.
Righto, bag holders and stop loss owners, far out. It is carnage today. So before we get into prices and everything, we've got another Insto desk fella, or absolute legend of the industry. Let's cross to him now, see what's going on. Here we go. Righto, we're up at the stakes in the Insto desk, buddy. We've got Benny Nelson, my great golf partner from RBC Capital Markets. Mate, welcome on to LEVRD. It is carnage today. What the hell are you talking about to your clients at the moment, commodity and stocks-wise? Let's start with commodities. It's just mayhem.
Yeah, it's pretty mayhem today, Matty. But look, we're still sticking with we've got a pretty bullish, we're probably the most bullish on the street for gold. We've probably seen it sort of tickle back a little bit with the war, kicking off. But we think that, we basically put out a report on Friday that said that gold can get to 6,500 by the end of the year. So we're like well above the street. I think we're sort of like 35% above the street for gold. So, in the near term, we've sort of seen, a bit of money go back into the US dollar, which has just kept a bit of a lid on gold. But the setup for it for the remainder of the year is still quite positive. You're still going to have lots of instability with political instability, geopolitical instability, and you've got that debasement, I guess, of currency. So I think eventually we're going to see gold's still a good place to be, and even at 5,000 here, all those gold stocks are printing a lot of money still. So once things sort of settle down through this period, we're still pushing the gold names in a big way.
Was the gold not ripping during the war? Was that pretty unexpected from you guys that the money went back into the US dollar and not gold, or did you think that could happen?
I think you sort of had a period where basically everyone thought that that rates were going to go down in the US, and so they were using gold as that sort of hedge as well against the currency falling as well. But given the war kicked off, you saw a bit of money flow back into the US dollar, and that sort of kept a lid on gold in the near term. But it hasn't been carnage, like some of the names have come back a bit, but the gold price has still held up relatively well. And once things settle down, we think we'll sort of those ongoing tariff disputes, political instability, independence of the Fed, all that stuff's going to be back in the front line of everyone's minds. Once things settle down a bit, I guess.
Yeah. How are you looking with oil spiking back up? End of last week, now that they're hitting that island. How are you looking at like your base metals like copper and everything? Because, rising oil and, it's all tied to global growth at the moment, and copper's obviously getting hammered as well. How are you looking at everything outside of gold?
Yeah, that's exactly right. You're 100% right. And I think that's sort of been the near-term risk, right, is that, you get this spike in inflation, you get this, I guess, longer period of oil price being up, and that rips through carnage, right? And that's the major concern. But that's the tail risk. Look, we do think it probably does go a little bit higher here, actually, like the oil price. I think there will be, a few more weeks and you'll see, the oil price go to sort of that 130 mark, if not higher. So that's going to be, the next few weeks are going to be pretty shaky, but ultimately we do believe that, it is going to be, a relatively short-lived thing. We don't think it's going to be a 6-month sort of affair. Maybe it does go for a couple more months at the most, but then things sort of settle down a bit. So we're trying to look through that noise near term, but definitely, that has been the concern. You've seen not much movement in the copper price, for example, but the stocks have all been hammered and pulled right back. So yeah, we really like copper, on a medium term basis. Like we're again, probably most bullish copper. We're 10% above the street there as well, and we just think that the supply issues are going to remain, but yeah, we're pretty positive on sort of the structural demand for copper, longer term. So, getting through the noise, I mean, things are moving around quite a lot. We're just trying to stay a bit more focused on that, that longer term. And yeah, the supply demand, fundamentals for copper. I mean, we've got it going to $6 sort of thing. We're 10% above the street, that kind of thing. So, yeah, something like a Firefly as well, where, it's been really, pulled back quite a lot. I mean, that looks like an amazing opportunity, to be honest, down here. So
yeah. Right. Here was my idea when I was in bed. You can tell me. Actually, you could even forward this on today, Benny, if you like. There's mayhem about fuel and diesel prices and everything at the moment. This is obviously how long this is going to last, I don't know, but the world is going a bit crazy over fuel, and we saw EV sales drop in China over the last couple of months. And I feel that there is a chance the world might go mad and be like, right, we need to buy EVs right now because fuel prices are so high, and lithium, this could be a big catalyst for lithium. Are you feeling
exactly.
similar?
Yeah, exactly. No, that's exactly what we've been pushing as well. So, trying to take that, this is going to be a decent shock and it's going to hit people pretty hard again. And that reliance on oil and reliance on, when people go to the pump every day, you're going to get that, that again, that fear in the head. And maybe that is the catalyst to get a few people, more people over the line to start buying some more of those. But, just generally, I guess, there's obviously, AI running through as well. We think that sort of flows into, that infrastructure side as well. We think that's, obviously going to be positive for, data center building and all that sort of stuff as well. We're quite positive on a long-term basis on copper demand.
Yeah, very good, mate. To finish off your top couple of picks at the moment, while there's a Woolworths sale on today.
That's right. Well, no, I guess, been quite positive on MI6. I know it's had a pretty good run already. You've seen, so sticking with the gold, like I said, we're most bullish on gold. So MI6, I mean, obviously that Franco deal was quite positive, and you saw the stock rip off the back of that. You've also got, good credibility in the project that sees as well. So we think there's going to be more positive updates there. I mean, they've got lots of money to drill now as well, and so it's a good area. They've shown really good results so far. So I think that one can keep going. And then I guess, similar sort of playbook, Alicante. I don't know if you know much about that one. AQI. Another Steve Parsons, stock, and Jeff Sampson coming across from Regis. Those guys have got a pretty similar playbook in my mind to MI6, where you sort of got an old, a bit of land that hasn't been drilled, much. 25 years ago, gold price where it is, these guys can absolutely find, a lot more stuff there. So it's in a good area, similar to MI6. I think that's a pretty similar playbook, I think, in my mind.
Very good, very good,
and then
mate.
Firefly again. And then Firefly again on the copper side. I think that one, it's got some really good catalysts, I guess, coming up in the next couple of months. And I think the costs have probably been a little bit overstated, I think, from the market. So you're going to see some upside on that one as well,
mate. The Richardson Street stable that Parsons and Naylor are going to love this episode, since you've punched about 2 out of the 3 are coming out of there. Well done, mate.
Yeah,
mate,
exactly.
Look. Best of luck to you and to me this week. Let's hope there's something positive tonight. I don't know if positive means that Trump has nothing left to bomb. Who knows? So, mate, appreciate your time, Benny. Love your work, mate. You may be coming back on again if they let you. You're a legend.
Yeah, sounds good.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers, mate.
Righto, thank you, Benjamin. Appreciate you coming on. Hopefully there's a show to come on soon. There'll be a show. Whether I've got any punting money, who bloody knows. Let's go through commodities news, and have a look across the screen, because far out. Right, what do we got? What is going on? Aluminium pulled back a bit on Friday, back at $1.57. Bit more strength back in the Aussie dollar. In the US dollar, back at 69.8. Bloody What have we got? Copper at 575, but God, with fears of inflation, copper miners are getting hammered. So's gold. Gold's actually dropped just below $5,000 an ounce now. It was at 15.59. It's back at about 49.80. Bloody hell, nickel 774, down 2.7%. Crude, oil, Brent crude up to 100, back in the hundreds, $103 a barrel. Spodumene 6%, 21.65. Thermal coal still at 137. Uranium not doing too much at the moment, $86 a pound. So as you can see, the majors on Friday absolutely hammered. Cameco down 6%. All the goldies like Agnico down 5%. Copper as well. Freeport down 5%. Barrick down 4.8%. So you can see why it is carnage on the bloody screen today. So pretty much, a bit of news out of Centaurus. We'll get into that, but essentially nothing too much updated there. It was interesting after aftermarket close in the US, Trump was pretty much saying they've obliterated all the military on that Carg Island or whatever it is. Iran are holding in effectively. US, I don't know how much more they've got left to bomb. They're saying they're going after the impenetrable bunker where they've moved the enriched uranium. So, yeah, whether Iran's going to bloody give in or US is just going to keep going, and if there's going to be some catalyst soon to show a bit more stability, but it just isn't here yet. So I thought I was interested to see like the stuff that come out. Trump saying they've, taken out the military on that island. I thought that aftermarket it might have been a bit more positive on the Australian screen, but frickin' not. Money is flying out of the resources sector at the moment. So the only stock that's probably flat is Centaurus. Conflict current holding. So Centaurus have secured maiden nickel offtake with Glencore for the Jaguar nickel project in Brazil. So it's a binding offtake agreement, and it's subject to some conditions precedent like FID, half the tailings dam being built, and I'll bring the rest of the announcement up. So it is binding, but subject to the achievement of Centaurus making FID by 30th of September this year. Construction of the tailings dam being 50% complete by 31st of December 2027, and first concentrate production being achieved by 15th of January 2029. So it's got the skates on. So the agreement is for the supply of 20,000 dry metric tonnes per annum of high-grade nickel concentrate. The offtake agreement with Glencore represents approximately 30% of the planned annual production from Jaguar. So it's definitely a positive signal for this project, but just a freaking horrible time to release it, unfortunately. So once hopefully the market recovers, the market will acknowledge this. So it's obviously just for offtake. Still got to sort out the funding and everything like that. I would assume this offtake is going to be favourable for the funding dynamic. Whether that's going to, and that's obviously going to be a mixture of debt, project stake. Not sure about equity. I think if they sell the project stake, that'll take away the reason to raise equity. So, as I said with Benny, my theory at the moment, and this could be posed well for nickel as well, if this fuel price thing persists, uncertainty, and the whole world starts wigging out about the price of fuel, EV sales, you would think, would go through the roof. And nickel, being people wanting bloody trucks and long range, that is nickel, NCM batteries. So lithium the same. So hopefully the positions are still alive for this thesis to come true. But that's where I'm bloody thinking. So fund update. This is miserable. Oh, Jesus Christ, I'm going to get hammered on Twitter about this. So Northern Star hasn't that just dogged me? Absolute dogging. Far out. That and continue to go down today. So, might be bloody Hail Mary and thinking that's going to get a bloody rebound. But, yeah, Jesus Christ, trying not to panic too much. Back at low $20 today. Breakthrough trading at 18.5, I think. Still waiting for that thing to be finalised. Bright Star, same thing. I think they're back at 42. I'll go through the screen at the moment. Medallion ticking along. That's probably all pulled back. And yeah, I'll let go of Next Gen this morning to de-lever a bit. But yeah, Liontown, probably the key lithium plays are obviously Delta, Liontown, and PMET. Liontown's probably, I would say, most exposed to any lithium price rise, should that happen. So yeah, far out. Miserable number. Oh my God, 138. 138. It is getting hemorrhaged because gold is, I'll show you the example. Have a look at the friggin', this is just the last month. So waiting for gold to rebound has unfortunately just seen all the equities just go boom. Gold down 1% in the last month, but obviously the downgrade ones, you got Centaurus and Northern Star down 32 and 29, WAF down 23%, Westgold down 20%, Volt down 20, even Evolution down 18%, Regis down 16. The only one that's outperformed was Orabanda in the last month after all their downgrades, then the bit of a rebound with the Round Oak bloody mineral resource update and everything, but they've obviously pulled back a bit. So the only stock that's outperformed the gold price is Orabanda in the last month, but everything else has been hemorrhaged. But as Benny said, they're still pushing people towards gold once this all settles down. So we'll bloody wait and see. So it is not looking bloody good. So let's have a look across the screen. Carnage.
3, 2, 1, let's buy!
Okay. Oh, God. Right, where are we at? ASX 200 actually hasn't dropped that much, but money's just flying out of equities. Gold back at 49.85. So that bloody short on the metal is, not really moving the needle too much. Northern Star down another 5.3. Bright Star 4.5. Far out 40. Some of these prices are hilarious to look at. Centaurus, as I said, they're about the only one that's flat and up 0.94%. Medallion being hammered, so pretty much everything has been hammered. Even the lithiums are getting hammered. Down 6% for Liontown. PMET down 7. Fuck me dead. Whitehaven, bit of money coming out of coal. Oh, God. So we're back at, I think we're in 120s at the moment. This is fucking shit. So let's have a look across the screen. So biggest droppers in gold. Regis down 8%. Bellevue down 7.3. Back at $1.52. Fucking Volt down 7. So goldies are absolutely getting hammered. And look, that's probably coupled with you've got gold price shitting itself. Not shitting itself. It's still $49.89 US. But you got rising fuel costs. So fuck, your joints like bloody in the processing side, like Bellevue and Liontown on renewables, they're looking pretty favourable, but you still need a fuckload of diesel to run trucks and everything underground. So underground mines are under pressure with fuel costs at the moment, and fuel supply, that is going to be something to watch, is fuel supply. So yeah, fuck me dead. So there's a bit, and the fact that you've got all these miners that are downgrading with a possible, whether it's skill shortage or just too much going on, money's just absolutely flying out at the moment. So gold is hammered. Majors, bloody, what do we got? BHP's only down 1.5, Rio down 2.5. Oh, Minres down 5%. That's bloody choppy like anything. Nickel, Centaurus, the only one semi-positive, up 0.94. Interesting. What's in the interesting one? Biggest movers. New Murchison back at 5, down 11%. Gorilla continues to go, 35 cents, down 6.5. Firefly at $1.64. God, far out. Anyway, Talk, the infamous Talk, down 6%, 47 cents. So that's still up a lot after the catalyst was realised. Ben's back down at 265, so it is a day of hammering. Lithium, PMET down 7%. Liontown down 6%. Oh, just down. I think you're getting the gist that everything is down. Linus, they released the 90-odd mil coming from DOW. They're pretty flat, actually, down 0.7, but everything else getting hammered. Copper, what do we got? Copper, No one likes anything. Developed back to $4.30, down 6.9%. Jesus bloody Christ. AIC, 54 cents, down 6. Oh my God. Anyway, fucking uranium, all hammered. Yeah, there you go. Everything's been hammered. Matty's been hammered. The best thing in my life at the moment is probably the fact I'm mates with Benny Nelson. And Benny Nelson comes on. Thanks to RBC for letting Benny on. And look forward to having him again. Righto, we'll see if we can survive today. Oh my God, catch ya.